Holy shit! I'm not even blipping it out. Like, this is huge. We got Simon Belmont, we got King K. Rool, we got Richter, we got Dark Samus, and Chrom. We got so many new features and stages, over 100 stages, and music. Ash, what, over 900 songs, over 800 songs officially, like 900 or so they said.
Around 900, yeah. 28 hours of music, I think they're saying.
Oh my God. This actually blew E3 away to me. Like, E3 set the groundwork, you know, and it did a great job at that. This just filled in so many of the blanks. Guys, how are you feeling right now about all this?
Amazing.
Well, you know how yesterday I said I was like at a 6 or a 7? Yeah, we're just going to crank that up to 11 or so because, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is way more than I ever expected. It was like, okay, we'll get a few things here and there. We'll go get a new character. That'll be cool and all that. And then just like beat after beat. Like, the thing is, it's awesome to see Simon, but to immediately get Richter, I'm like, okay, all expectations are just out the window. What are we going to get?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that King K. Rool tease, like, that might be my favorite, like, newcomer trailer
Might
ever,
be?
just
No,
for
straight
that
up.
King DDD. I mean, DDD was perfect. His facial expressions, like, that was such a well-done trailer. Oh, man, I mean, it's not no Mega Man, but it's close. It's almost there.
I think Derek could probably attest to my emotions I had during that sequence. But we were on the call together, and I was just like I was all over the place. I'm like, oh my God, wait, what? Oh my God!
Exactly. I cracked up when I saw DDD.
John, how are you feeling about all this?
The Castlevania trailer was perfect. I mean,
it was so
Simon
dark.
himself just. Yeah, it was so good. They killed Luigi.
Straight up killed
keep
him.
killing characters in these trailers. I mean, Inklings went to hell. Mega Man's dead. Mario's dead. Now Luigi's dead.
The only one who survived is Donkey Kong because he is that connective tissue.
Exactly. He's what holds the whole thing together. But the Castlevania trailer was just so perfect, though, and they represented the franchise just so well.
Yep.
Even bringing Luigi into it, it was just perfect. Like, you have this M-rated game. And then you have just Luigi's mansion just sort of flying around the place. It was just excellent.
Which is like which is like itself a spoof of like horror games, right? Like a horror movies in a way. So it's a perfect like contrast.
And that makes it like even more the better that they killed Luigi. It's just so good.
Right.
So, well, is Luigi gonna have to hunt his own ghost now? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think so. You know what? Screw Luigi's mansion. I want Luigi's castle now.
Oh man.
Right. One of my favorite parts of the Castlevania trailer was the Richter segment where he goes, "You don't belong in this world." I'm like, oh man, or something like that. But it's basically a line from Symphony of the Night. Yeah, okay, and it's so good. Like, what a cool reference.
Yeah, and they sound just like they do in Symphony of the Night as well. It's excellent. And I love that Simon represents Super Castlevania rather than like the more sexy Simon. Right. And they've just gone like this classic one, which is like way more synonymous with Nintendo. And it's just excellent. It's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I want Sakurai to literally update every NES character ever, and just
pretty much.
Seriously.
I mean, look what he did for Pit.
Yeah, Pit, absolutely.
Just in general, honestly, like it was impressive how they transplanted Mega Man to Smash. Other than the facial issues I have with it, but Simon was almost like another level to me. They got his strut. They got that chunkiness. It really does look like you just took his sprite and HDified him, and it's so good.
Yeah, honestly, we don't deserve Sakurai. Like, at this point, it is ridiculous how rotten he's spoiling us. Where I mean, he spoils everyone so much, and he just gives. It's crazy. I mean, we're already basically at 70 characters now, depending on how you count them. And I mean, there are going to be at least a few more. Yeah. So that's just insane. Like, oh my God, and 2 Castlevania characters right out of the gate. Like, who saw that coming?
Let me just say, like, if this were it, which it won't be, I don't think it will, but if this were it, I would be content. I would be happy right now. I would say so. I was so, I mean, King K. Rool, I'd honestly given up hope on. Like, we mentioned him, you know, every now and then. Like, deep down, like, he's never gonna happen. Like, Nintendo doesn't care about King K. Rool anymore, and here he is. So this entire presentation, the way they opened it, I mean, they bookended it in the best possible way. You know, 2 new amazing character reveals, and then everything in between was also fantastic. There was not like a slow moment to this presentation. Pretty much everything was a new type of reveal, whether it's a new mode or giving us a better idea of the amount of quality, the total quality of things. I was just blown away by this presentation.
Andre, we're going to get a King K. Rool amiibo.
Oh, yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Exactly.
Oh, Simon and Richter amiibo.
Simon and Snake sitting together on a shelf is going to be perfect. graphics.
Oh man, yeah.
That'll be pretty good. Yeah.
And you know, Andre, you and I specifically got exactly what we've been wanting and talking about for so long, which is Squad Strike.
I was so happy that happened, as well as the final Smash meter they announced. Both are things I really mentioned in our last discussion. Yeah, they look awesome.
I cannot believe you got the Smash meter right. I'm like, okay, that sounds like cool, but they'll probably never do that. That's a little out of it.
I love that these new modes are changing how you can play the game, like in a major way. And also like how they're making the HP mode now a standard mode right alongside stock and time. That's pretty cool.
And how about that stage morph thing, where you can pick 2 stages that you want to play on, and the game will just switch between them like every few minutes.
I love that!
The number of options here is just, it's mind-boggling, more than I was expecting. Like, we've got the, you know, Omega modes, and Battlefield modes, and stage morph, and, you know, apparently a stage hazard toggle, which we didn't hear too much about today, but there are so many just different little options, and the fact that you can even switch between, you can choose how you want Echo Fighters to be displayed on the character selects.
Right.
That is such a Sakurai thing. Like,
I love that.
You can have them separate, or you can have them bundled with their original fighter, and you switch back and forth. Like, that's a completely worthless option, but it's awesome, and that's why I love Sakurai, because he does that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
right there
it's
with
great.
you.
I'm honestly, you talked about all those modes. I really love the idea for Smashdown, like to really force people to try different fighters. That is such a brilliant idea.
It is. Yeah, particularly, like, Derek, I remember you mentioning how you kind of feel overwhelmed sometimes with games, you know, or with a character screen. And this might help you with that, right? Like, it's like, well,
exactly.
I'm forced to play this guy now, so...
Yeah, that's perfect. Like, like somebody get Mega Man before Ash can.
Exactly. And finally, the return of a proper tourney mode. I'm actually really happy about that. Like, a proper bracket, like, you know, local tournament mode. That's been something I really missed in Smash Wii U for, like, parties or get-togethers and such. So I'm really happy to see that back, too.
Mm-hmm. Man, I am just so pleased with everything here. So I guess we can start diving in maybe a little bit deeper into some of the specifics. And by that, I mean, I want to talk about King K. Rool some more. Because not only was that trailer fantastic, the way they're representing him is amazing. In which it seems to combine pretty much every one of his major appearances. He's got his crown throw from Donkey Kong Country. He's got his gun from Donkey Kong Country 2. He's got his jetpack from Donkey Kong Country 3. He's got the boxing glove from Donkey Kong 64. Like, this is like the perfect representation of this guy. Like, not only is King K. Rool here, it is the pinnacle of what he could be. Not
only that, but his final smash is one of the coolest possible references to DK64 too. I love that cannon just blasting through DK Island. Like, that's a perfect final smash for him.
Who saw that coming?
And it's so similar to Ridley's too. Like, he's just sort of demolishing. They're both demolishing their opponents, and I love that we have more antagonists in Smash now. Yeah. I mean, we've got Ridley and K. Rool, whereas before we basically only had Ganon and Bowser.
Right.
And we have Dark Samus now, too.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it is so cool seeing how... Because I always wonder, like, which version of K. Rool are they going to go with? And it makes so much sense to just give him an item from each game, and it works. And, of course, he has one of those... reflector moves, because every character has to want to have one of those, it seems, anymore. But it's like, what do we have to do? Reflect something. Let's do it. But it's still like, I talked to Andre, I was like, yeah, this is going to be your new main, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm all about King K. Rool. Like, I've been all about him for decades now, so...
Well, he's pretty much your, like, Mega Man for me, like, right? Like, when I had Mega Man confirmed, K. Rool, like, you've been really wanting specifically him for a long time, right?
Yeah, I have been. I was thinking just yesterday even, like, really, I felt like most of the big reveals they could have left would have to be third-party related, except for King K. Rool, and they delivered. They delivered!
hey, Rhythm Heaven, all right? Rhythm Heaven, please.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean... Stranger things have happened at this point, Andre, because I'm sure this news is cool for Ash. Shovel Knight is an assist trophy.
It's both cool and stings just a little bit. I'm not going to say that I actually expected Shovel Knight to be playable, because I didn't. But just knowing for sure that he won't be, it stings a little. At the same time, I'm so happy to see him in this game at all. And it says a lot about how, you know, the strength of him as an indie character, the fact that he's in Smash at all, and I think that's really cool.
A Western indie character, yeah.
Exactly. An indie character that, as I understand it, has not really taken off in Japan the way he has over here, so really cool to see him in the game at all.
Mm-hmm. I think he's the first indie character in Smash.
Yeah,
I think so.
Might be, yeah, actually.
Yeah, I like how they're branching out with these, like, third parties aren't limited to just characters now. Even if they're not like don't have representation within the main cast, they at least have an assist trophy to represent them, as we saw with Bomberman and now Shovel Knight, and even that Rathalos, which apparently we're getting a Monster Hunter stage at some point, because they said 103 stages. That's not the total amount, because there is definitely more new stages to show, because they have a list now on the Smash blog, and there is 103 stages shown right now, but we don't know if there's more coming, because when they showed the Rathalos as a stage hazard, that looked like a new stage to me. That looked like a Monster Hunter stage.
Yeah, do you know what's interesting too, actually? Both the Moon and the Monster are assist trophies as well, it looks like, because they appeared in different stages. But you can't really have the Majora's Mask Moon on Termina at the same time. So I wonder if they're only enabled when that stage isn't active?
I feel like that probably has to be the case. That is a good question, though. Yeah. And by the way, that moon looks amazing.
Right?
Oh, yeah. All the new, you know, I have to say, it could just be, it might just be the presentation of the trailer, but it might just be the assist trophies. I think the assist trophies they announced in this one are among the best they've ever shown.
Yeah, well, yeah, Zero.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm really happy to see Zero here, alongside the confirmation of some Mega Man X remixes coming, or at least one Mega Man X remix coming to Smash. So that's awesome, and yeah, it's great to see Zero here. That he makes sense as an assist trophy, and I personally, the part of the assist trophy thing that interests me the most is that we got Dark Samus confirmed, right? And people were already thinking, well, Dark Samus isn't an assist trophy anymore. That's weird. Well, they just got confirmed as an Echo Fighter. Shadow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't be the only one. Yeah,
this is gonna happen.
It's just gonna happen, especially because we got 2 Castlevania characters right out of the gate, which there's no problem having 2 Sonic characters now or whatever. So Shadow, I feel like, has to be a thing.
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that Shadow is going to be playable.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also some fans who are a bit let down, though, by some assist trophies. Like, because Ashley's an assist trophy, obviously the Ashley fans are now a little bit bummed.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like a double-edged sword. Like, some people are bummed that they're not playable, but at the same time, it's cool that they're in the game.
Yeah, I like having them there at all. Like, I forget his name. I don't play Animal Crossing a lot, but that guy that loads you up on the bus and drives you off stage.
Cap'n.
That is so good. That's just such a... It's basically a horizontal beetle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, and how about that swap note assist trophy? That is...
Didn't see that coming.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming at all, and I love it.
And there's some really great Pokemon choices here. Like, I'm actually shocked how much use they got out of Abra, of all things, because they actually made his teleport worth something. I love the idea of just grabbing a hold of an opponent and randomly teleporting him to some other part of the stage.
Yeah. I love the look of Mimikyu.
It's so good.
Which is a perfect representation of the character.
I like Ditto.
Oh yeah, Ditto was awesome.
Ditto was cool.
If I recall, Ditto was in Melee's data, but it was never actually implemented into the game.
Right, yeah.
Right, I remember that, yeah. I gotta give a shout out to Alolan Executor, because that perfectly represented, and I love how stupidly tall it is. Such a great addition. I was really hoping
he doesn't do anything, he just blocks the stage.
Yeah.
So that, like, you want to talk about edge guarding.
Yeah, it's true. Which is just, yeah, it's a perfect use of that Pokemon, and I was really hoping it would make an appearance here.
And even the new items look like a lot of fun. The Banana Gun, we got Death's Scythe here, we got the Ramblin' Evil Mushroom, which we actually knew about before, but he appeared in the picture, as John pointed out, in his stage video, I think. Yeah, I mean, I am, like, just everything here is, like, just looks... I just want to play with everything right now. I just want to try it.
Also, there's so much music now that they're changing the way My Music works. Instead of it being done by stage, they're separated by franchise now. And so just basically, depending on the franchise the stage you're playing on is from, you'll get the same selection of music from that franchise, which... Now, given how much music there is now, it kind of makes sense that they're doing it that way, and I'm fine with it. I'm actually really excited.
Well, and what's cool is you can set up your own playlists now and even listen to it as if it were a portable music player.
Right, and you could do that in Smash 3DS, but of course that was limited to like 200 or less than that songs, I think. But yeah, you have your Switch with you, you've got a playlist of 900-ish Smash songs to play, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. That is just so massive.
Yeah, even some other tweaks like we saw, like was how the training mode has been updated with an actual like grid background, so you can see how far you're knocking opponents and how far you can jump, for instance.
It's very Street Fighter.
It's got the lines, yeah.
It's also really cool how, clearly we know Sakurai's approach to Smash's development is that, play it however you want. It should be, casual fun, or, if you want to play it hardcore, you can. But I do like that he has that approach while obviously including things this time around that are specifically geared toward the competitive community. So, it's nice that he's trying to appease both sides with Ultimate. I mean, like the thing with the training mode thing that you just mentioned, Andre, that is completely a competitive mentality type thing,
sure,
measuring the projectile distance. And I think it's really cool that we're seeing stuff like that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To go back to this being the ultimate version of Smash, Simon and Rool have to have been very high on the Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS ballot, I would imagine. So I wonder if the newcomers are going to be based off that, because they were extremely popular picks among Source Gaming's rankings. So I do wonder if they're looking at that, and hopefully that means hopefully they ignore Goku, but anyone else is fine.
It feels so wrong to even be like, man, I really hope for this character at this point, because we've gotten so many. I mean, we've been so spoiled, and of course, we all have characters we hope really still get in, but God, at this point, like you said, Andre, obviously I want more characters, and there are still ones I hope get in, but if this was it would be impossible to say, at least for me, like, oh, this is disappointing, or oh man, they left this person out, because God, we have 70 characters.
Yep.
Right, and the press release says more than 70 characters.
Exactly.
So that hints to this not being the full amount, and we still don't have a new Pokemon representative, because Gen 7 hasn't had anyone in Smash 4, so that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or Gen 8, could be either one. But there's got to be more characters at this point, and I'm just wondering who they could be. We're probably going to have more Echoes. I imagine that we've already said Shadow, but maybe like Raiden for Snake or something like that.
That could be cool. Like I said, I'm still holding out hope for Dixie. I really hope she's a Diddy Echo. I just want to see Dixie in the roster at all, because she deserves the love.
Two new DK reps in the game would be pretty massive.
Right?
I mean, we have two new Metroid reps. We have Dark Samus and Ridley.
Good point.
It's just been Samus this whole time.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Finally getting some love, much needed love, which is great to see. Honestly, I'm actually really happy. I wanted this. I wasn't sure if they'd do it, but they did, and that's the return of classic mode, where it's just a series of a battle against a series of fighters, like in the original game. What's really cool is that they're not trying to force you to have here's all these different fighters. It's just depending on who you choose, you'll fight a set amount of people that opponents as you go through it. So that should help alleviate the repetition of classic mode a lot, the fact that you're not fighting the same people over and over and over again.
Right. Although still just the idea, or the thought of going through classic and all-star mode more than 70 times, assuming wow, that's going to be quite the grind, but at the same time, that reminds me though, one thing we haven't gotten, or one thing that wasn't talked about today, are regular trophies, and that's something of course you unlock by doing all that grinding, and with there being, around 900 songs and over 100 stages, can you guys, how many regular trophies are we going to get in this game?
Oh, probably more than 1,000.
Oh,
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't even want to think about the process of unlocking them all either. So let's go ahead and move on. Because one thing they did show off in the trailer, one of the last things they showed off, was the main menu of the game. And so far, I'm pretty happy with how it looks, in that it looks like a huge step up from the horrible Wii U menu. Granted, I can't say for sure until we see how everything else is organized, because the Wii U one was a complete mess. But visually, I'm loving how it's looking so far, with a completely different design than anything they've done before, with a central icon in the middle and everything radiating around it, I suppose, or appearing around it. And they also have the dashboard on the right that includes updates, apparently, presumably news updates, and quick access to different features of the game. And interestingly, as John pointed out, they blocked off, they censored one of those icons, as well as, of course, there's another icon in the main menu that they also censored, which means we don't know everything, we don't know all the base features of this game yet.
Right.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely more coming.
Well, and it feels like the timing would be perfect, maybe October for one more big blowout Smash Bros.Direct leading up to launch. So perhaps that's when they'll talk about whatever that mode is on the main menu, and some other stuff we can expect, like trophies and things like that.
Well, I guess the main question is, what could that other mode be? What's missing here, and is a story mode?
We still are in the process of unlocking characters, which they emphasise quite a lot at E3. There's going to be a new mode to get characters in. Though one thing we did notice, actually, is the little circle in the middle that's surrounding all of the different options has the original Smash 64 cast. And by that I mean before the unlockables, so it's just Mario, Donkey Kong, Samus, Yoshi, Link, Pikachu, and Kirby and Fox. So we were wondering if maybe when you get more characters, it expands out and sort of pans out and shows the entire cast eventually when you have them all. But yeah, that'd be interesting. Maybe that's linked to that mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty certain. I'm probably going to say that this is probably going to be the mode that we get our characters in, because we don't really know how we get them yet.
Right.
Well, I think didn't Sakurai say that there's going to be, like in previous games, multiple ways to unlock characters, not just one specific mode, but like that there will be, depending on how you play the game, like, you know, in previous games you could get Mr. Game & Watch by playing like 1 billion versus matches or whatever it was. So I think it was like actually 200, but you know, I think he said there are going to be multiple ways to unlock characters this time around as well, but I do recall specifically that he said he's not going to make it super difficult or anything, so it's not going to be all that crazy hard to unlock the full roster.
Right.
One thing I'm not too fond of is that it still has the labeling of Smash 4, where it says Smash, and then you click that, and there's another Smash. And there's also a mode called Games and More, which is just really vague. Like, I wonder, like, there's no like settings menu there. But I guess there is a settings icon on the far right on the dashboard, so that makes it a little simpler.
Thank God, yeah. I really did detest the Wii U menu. I mean, this menu might be the biggest news here, in fact. That is not a complete disaster.
Well, speaking of menus, it's not part of the main menu, but they did mention how it will save game types for you. Like you set up how many stocks or how many of that. You can do use the same settings as the last match, or use like presets that you had before. And I like that idea, how it just keep things peppy for when your friends come over. It's like, yeah, this is the mode we like to play, let's do it, and keep playing it that way.
That actually is pretty significant, because I mean that's something you have to set up every time you play Smash right now. Like you have to reset up the rules every time, and that actually is pretty cool, because I don't know about you guys, but like when I play Smash with friends, we typically hover around the same 2 or 3 rule sets. We don't really go too far outside of that, so to be able to have those as presets is really cool.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Now, actually, there is one, now that I think about it, now that I'm having some time to process all this, they didn't talk about online at all. Nothing about online. Mm-hmm. So that
probably, yeah, that deserves its own direct, I would say. That probably deserves its own whole blowout.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, and that could be really exciting or really terrible, depending on how it goes.
That's a good point. We also got a proper introduction of New Donk City Hall.
We did. Looks great. Now it's a kind of a traveling stage where you travel between the base of the tower and to the top of it. And I love how the musicians fly in on their own little platforms as they're performing.
You gotta collect them.
Yeah.
And we also got our first look at Final Destination as well. I mean, we've had glimpses before, but this is our proper look at gameplay. And it looks pretty sweet.
It does.
It does.
There's still some more to see. Like, we don't really know how much the background changes. But I thought it looked pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I think, John, you're going to be preparing a video pretty soon about going over all those new stages, right?
There's so much. There's 103 stages. There's that Monster Hunter stage that isn't listed. And yeah, there's some new reveals they didn't really touch on that much. Like Fountain of Dreams was there for a moment, which was one of my favorite stages in Melee, so that's back. But they still haven't revealed all the N64 stages yet, which is interesting. Most of them are there, but like Sector Z isn't there yet, which is also a big notable one. So there's obviously some more to confirm, unless they just aren't bringing some of them back for some reason.
I hope they bring them all back.
I think they said not to expect necessarily every stage to come back. The vast majority, sure, but I think it's already been said that they're not necessarily going to bring every stage from every
They did say that, but there's only 9 stages in the original game.
True, and I mean, I really do hope we get Sector Z, because I noticed that missing as well, and that was always one of my favorite stages in Smash 64. So I really do, and like there is Corneria, but I feel like that never quite replaced it, because the Great Fox in the Corneria version is so much smaller.
Yeah,
and I just like that Sector Z was so much bigger, gave you more room to fight.
Yeah,
I love that some stages that have never returned before, like Rainbow Ride from Melee, they're back too. So yeah, it's awesome to see all these stages that have kind of been lost in time just make it back into this ultimate version of Smash Bros.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, where is Pokefloats? Are we going to get Pokefloats?
I wanted to. I really wanted to be there. I was super happy when I saw that Brinstar Depths was back. That's always been a fun stage, and I'm confused why Hanenbo was there. I never liked that stage. I'd much prefer Pokefloats, but that's just me.
That is just you. I hope that's just you.
No, me and
I know, all those Electroplankton fans out there just got really offended by what you just said.
Bill Trennan's an Electroplankton fan, so you don't want to upset him, do you? All right, guys. Any final thoughts or any points you want to bring up before we wrap it up here?
God, I mean, it just feels like there's so much to talk about, yet we've already covered so much. I mean, it's just... my hype was already at 10 for this game, but now it's like 15. And the fact that we know that there... I mean, well, we can pretty much surmise there are more characters coming. I mean... I just can't believe we've got 2 Castlevania characters out of the gate. Oh, actually, I do have a question for you guys. I was not here for the predictions discussion because I was at EVO. I did tweet out my own predictions, and I nailed at least one of them, which was Simon in a Castlevania stage. But how did you guys fare?
Oh, Andre did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I got classic mode right.
For a moment, I thought I was going to get the prediction where they end on a sound effect right, because it looked like they were ending with the screen shaking.
Oh, yeah.
But then
right. You were close. I'll kind of give you that. So
you got stamina mode, because I know you mentioned that. I do actually. Speaking of, I do really like the Castlevania stage. Like we talk about bosses like being kind of annoying, but I love how they just doubled down on it for that. It was just all the bosses from the original Castlevania are here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm there for it. Bring them on. I love how much representation this is getting.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, I love how there are candles you can hit that give items when you destroy them, which is right out of Castlevania. It's so good.
So good. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah. And of course, we got the toggle off, so if you want to do that, that's fine. And of course, it's Dracula's chamber.
And you got the Alucard assist trophy. So, you know, they did manage to sneak Alucard in there, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like how they mentioned that he's one of the hardest assist trophies to defeat.
Which makes perfect sense.
It's really cool to see like Symphony of the Night content on a Nintendo platform, because that game's never released on any Nintendo platform.
Right. And I gotta say, I was looking at some screenshots on the Smash Brothers blog of the Zero Assist trophy, and just seeing his dash animation perfectly recreated and represented here for the assist trophy is so cool.
X9, baby.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
And let's get some Castlevania games on Switch.
Yep.
That'd be nice.
This game just doesn't seem real. Like, it seems like a fan fake list of just weird rumors like Dark Samus and Chrom and Alucard. None of it seems real.
They weren't kidding when they were saying this is the ultimate version of Smash.
Right.
Oh, yeah. No. And then, I'm so excited, 35 songs from Castlevania, including a brand new remix of Vampire Killer. I am so there for that. I want to hear that new remix so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The thing is, when Simon leaked last night with the song, I kind of thought that was the majority, the majority of baggage for this Direct was pretty much gone. But not at all. I mean, they totally blew that away. Even just showing Simon was more than enough to reclaim that leak. But yeah, just the amount of content and the pacing was just so good, and way more than I expected from this.
Well, I gotta say, the fact that we're getting 34 Castlevania songs or whatever out of the gate, I mean, we know that there's a Mega Man X song coming, which makes me hopeful that maybe we'll see some other Mega Man series sneak in there musically too. I mean, it seems like really the sky's the limit in terms of how many songs we can expect per franchise. I mean, obviously, you know, Castlevania is only Castlevania, but I could see other franchises getting quite a bit as well, and we already have at least one new Mega Man remix confirmed from Mega Man's character trailer, alongside this Mega Man X remix, so the sky's the limit, and I am so excited as to what could possibly happen here. Bring me some Battle Network music, please.
I talked about this before, because I heard you say Mega Man X opening stage music, and I'm like, I missed the last part, so I thought you said that there was a stage coming based off the destroyed highway of Mega Man X.
God, I wish.
Perfect. And now I kind of really want that stage. That'd be a really great stage.
Like Beybladers firing at you from the background, and like the highway falling apart. Oh man, see, now we got to stop talking about this.
I know, we'll just go on forever at this point. So
exactly.
I'm going to cut us off here. Needless to say, we are all hyped for this, and we'll have lots more videos coming out about this Direct very soon, I'm sure. We got a lot of analysis to go through, stage breakdowns, all kinds of things. More music videos from Ash, of course. So it's going to be a busy time, and maybe we'll regroup after and rediscuss all this once we've had time to fully process it. But needless to say, this is a very exciting time, and hey guys, this is going to be in our hands in less than 4 months now, so
crazy.
Wow.
Yep, isn't it? Can't wait. Hey, and maybe the weekly discussions will get a little bit more exciting now with all the new stuff to talk about, so
let's hope so.
I hope so. Alright guys, with that, thanks for watching. Of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for lots more on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and everything else Nintendo as well. We'll catch you later. Bye.